If you have a corporate job and you've been looking at building a remote cleaning business, there's a good chance you talked yourself out of it, usually for one of two reasons. Either you think you don't have the time because you're already working full-time, or you think your background is irrelevant because you've never run a service-based business before and you never cleaned anything professionally in your life. So I want to address both of those assumptions directly in this video because I think they're completely backwards. And I say that not as a motivational statement, but based on what I've actually seen working across hundreds of clients in my program. The people who build this business the fastest, who hit $10,000 a month in the shortest amount of time, who scale past that with the least friction, are always the people who came in with a corporate background. And the reason has nothing to do with their cleaning knowledge because they have none. It has everything to do with the specific set of skills they already have that most people trying to start a new business are spending years to develop. And let me show you what I mean. So the assumption that most corporate professionals make when they look at a business like this is that they're looking at something built for someone else, right? They assume that this is for someone younger, someone with more time, someone who grew up working in service businesses, or who is just comfortable getting their hands dirty. And what I could tell you is that assumption makes sense on the surface, okay? Most of the content you see about cleaning businesses is marketed to people who need their first dollar fast. People with no income, no savings, no real work experience beside an entry-level job. The language around it is they're starting from nothing, right? It's a hustle. They're grinding to get their first client, right? None of that language resonates if you're making 6 figures a year and you're not necessarily trying to escape poverty, right? You're trying to build an asset, right? So the framing puts you off and you move on. And that's a mistake because the business itself is not built for that audience, right? The model works better for you than it does for them. The people creating that content have not figured out how to say that clearly. I can tell you from my own experience. I come from a private equity, commercial real estate, institutional background, right? I know what it's like to be in an office space. I know what it's like to have deadlines, to run financial models, to be involved with critical decision-making with very high-end clientele. Okay. And I've had this same exact thought process, right? Like and I know it sounds crazy and it sounds a little ridiculous, but like, hey, I'm getting into cleaning, really? Right? Like that's kind of the questions that were going through my mind when I first looked at this business. And to be honest with you, now that I'm further along in the journey, that is just a limiting belief that I didn't know was a projection at the time, right? And I was really not understanding at that moment the asset I was building like I do today. So this is something that I know a lot of you guys are probably sitting on this and looking at this and saying this same exact thing, right? So what I can tell you is that is okay. That is what I want you to have, right? Because I do want to be direct about what actually separates the clients that we work with from hitting 10,000 in 30 to 60 days from the clients who struggle to get their first couple clients at month 4, because it does happen, right? It's not perfect. We have results that are amazing. We have people that struggle. This is starting a business, right? But it's not the energy. Most people who start this business are motivated because motivation to me is not differentiation, right? Just because someone's motivated doesn't mean it's going to happen for them, right? It's not necessarily cleaning experience either, right? I will tell you, the people who are the furthest along, I have data to support this. The people doing over $40,000, $50,000 a month, there are zero, and I mean zero, that are actually cleaners first, right? So why is that the case? Why is there no correlation between you being a great cleaner and you having a great business, right? Because it's not that heavily weight of a factor when it comes to running a business. It's a different skill set, right? And it's not even capital, right? Although capital does help, in the sense that you can run paid ads faster, earlier, right? And you can have more patience during the early weeks when revenue is still building. That's not even the most heavily weighted factor. The thing that actually determines when someone is succeeding quickly or spins their wheels is execution discipline. Their ability to take a system, follow it in the exact order it was given to them, make decisions quickly, not overthink steps, and keep moving without needing someone to validate every single choice they make. Okay? That type of profile of a person who comes into my program who has that, the overwhelming majority of these people, they all have corporate backgrounds. The reason is because you have spent years in that exact environment where you get assigned a process, right? You have to figure out how to execute it well, and you are measured on whether or not you delivered the outcome. That is the exact mentality this business rewards, right? You are not trying to figure out whether or not this rocket is going to get into space, right? This is not some sort of program where there's a high degree of uncertainty. This is a proven model in a traditional business with modern operational and technological implementation, right? So when you do that and you have your skill set, you're just applying it to a vehicle that gives you cash flow and an asset that you actually can grow. And let me be specific when I say corporate skills, right? Because I know that's very vague and a lot of people are, hey, I'm in corporate. What do you mean I have skills, right? And I don't want this to sound like a pep talk. I'll give you 4 skills that I will tell you right now that will tremendously help you in a business like this and compete against people who do not have these skill sets, right? The first skill is hiring. Hiring is the most important operational skill in this business. Your ability to source, screen, interview, identify reliable cleaners is what determines whether this business is going to scale or fall apart. Most people who have never hired anyone in their professional life find this genuinely hard. They don't know what questions to ask. They cannot read people well. They don't know how to understand when they sense a red flag, right? There's not an intuitive part to that. They do not know how to structure an evaluation process that gives them reliable data on whether someone is worth trusting with their clients, right? If you've ever been responsible for hiring in a corporate environment, you already understand this process at a conceptual and intuitive level. You know that hiring is a funnel. You know that you're looking for signals during the interview process that predict future behavior, right? You know how to make a hiring decision based on evidence rather than gut feeling. And that is what transfers directly, right? You can't necessarily teach that overnight. That's something you already have, right? So that's one example of a skill that you have. The second skill is KPI tracking. First of all, most people don't even know what a KPI is, as crazy as that sounds. And obviously, if you're watching this and you don't know, it's called Key Performance Indicator. But I tell every client that is one of the most important habits you can build in this business is tracking your metrics, right? Let's just take marketing for an example. You need to know what your cost per lead is. You need to know what your close rate is. You need to know what your booking rate is. You need to know what your lifetime value is. Most people who are brand new to business, this literally goes over their head, right? So you're telling somebody I have to track all these numbers and they're not putting 2 and 2 together. I love working with clients where they understand the numbers just like I do. I'm a very analytical person when it comes to the financials, and that gives us a basis for improving quickly, right? So you're not just doing an activity and hoping for the best. So if you've ever worked in any kind of analytical or performance-driven corporate role, which is most of the roles, you already have the instinct to look at data, make a decision based off it, and that is a significant advantage, right? If you're used to cleaning, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if you're used to cleaning, you don't know what this is, right? You don't know what this is like, and it becomes a whole new skill you have to learn on the fly on top of running the business. Now, the third skill is systems thinking, okay? And this has a direct correlation to scaling. So at $5,000 a month, you can run this business without any documentation, systems, processes. At $20,000 a month, you cannot. Now, the constraint that stops most operators from scaling past $10,000, $15,000 a month is that they never documented anything, right? They have everything in their head, and when they try to hand something off, it literally falls apart because nothing is written down, right? So it becomes this process where they have to figure all this out in real time, document it, delegate it, while somehow manufacturing the time to be able to understand how to actually design documentation properly because they don't know what a good SOP looks like, right? If you have corporate experience, you know the importance of having documentation and onboarding someone properly to have them have the highest and best chances of success in the role, right? That makes delegation significantly faster when they get to this stage, right? So this goes hand in hand with scaling, right? You understand this principally. You understand that it is a necessity, okay? Now, the fourth one, and I would probably say this is the most important one, is time management under constraint. I do not need someone who has 40 hours a week to dedicate to this to be able to be successful, right? You do not need to have 40 hours a week to be able to dedicate to this, right? A lot of the clients that I've worked with have had a lot less than this. The reason is they have an understanding of what is the highest leverage activity in front of them. They execute it quickly between their downtime, and they do that consistently day in and day out. And I will tell you right now, it is very rare to find someone at a young age that has that, right? Because they have all the time in the world. They've been trained not to value your time. As you get older in life, everything becomes more valuable, and the most valuable thing is your time, okay? So it is a skill most corporate professionals that have a couple promotions that are a little bit more senior have developed out of necessity. Otherwise, you cannot operate at the level that you're operating at. Now, I do want to be honest on the flip side of this, okay? Because I do think this gives more context. When I work with clients who do not have any of the backgrounds I just talked about, the challenge is almost that they do not understand the cleaning business, right? The challenge is actually one of the three things. It's usually first self-management, right? Because they're not really used to having, a manager with deadlines and external accountability. Because when you're building your own business now, all of that is going to disappear. The people who struggle the most, in my opinion, are the ones that when no one's watching, it doesn't get done, right? So they don't have that high sense of accountability to actually see things through. Now, the second thing I would tell you is really following a process without needing to customize it, right? I've built a system that works that you can follow. The clients who get the results the fastest are the ones who literally just run the system as is. They get results and then they make adjustments based on the data. The ones who take the longest are honestly the ones who try to modify things at every single step before they've even tested the original thing, right? That tendency to want to reinvent the process because you think you know, or because you think you should try something else before executing it, is much more common in people who have never worked in that environment that have defined workflows, right? You don't see the value in just having that removed from the equation, right? Isn't it easier just to execute than first think how and why and should and when on when I need to do these things? Isn't it much easier to just execute instead of figuring out what to do in said situation when you're at this moment, right? So removing half of the equation, right? People overcomplicate it by trying to do everything every single time once over again. So that's the second thing. The third thing is comfort with data. I know I've said it before, but making decisions based on what the numbers are telling you is a learned skill because it tells you to trust the data over your intuition when they conflict, right? And it requires you to know what to measure in the first place. Most people new to business have not done either of those things, and they will turn against the numbers because of what they feel like. They make a bad decision. It turns into a bigger problem, and then they go backwards, and then they start to lose trust because they don't have a data-driven approach. Okay. Now, none of this is a judgment on anyone. I literally can work with clients from every background. I have worked with clients from every background. I have testimonials from clients that have been cleaners and not been cleaners, right? So all across the range. And I do genuinely care about getting everyone a result. I just want to be honest about where the friction comes from now, having worked with a lot of clients, because I think it is useful information. If you are a corporate professional who has been telling yourself that other people are more naturally suited for this than you are, because I don't think they are. Now, I do want to give you a concrete example, okay, of what this looks like in practice, because I think real numbers are more useful than general statements. So Dan came into my program. He had a marketing background. He worked with e-com brands. He had experience with Facebook ads, Google ads, serving clients on a high level, reporting metrics, reporting numbers, right? Those are going to be the skill sets that he had walking in, right? He had a corporate marketing background, essentially. He had a family. And he had a specific reason for wanting to make this work, right? His wife was developing migraines from working at her job and being in front of a screen all day. And he wanted to build this income stream that would allow her to stop working, right? So that was his motivation and that was his skill set heading into it. So what Dan had was not cleaning knowledge, right? He had zero. What he had was a clear understanding of how marketing works, a natural ability to communicate professionally with people, and the discipline to commit, to execute the steps in order without skipping ahead or trying to optimize things that don't need optimization yet. Okay, so he hit 10,000 in 47 days. He is now doing over $45,000 a month. His wife left the job. He accomplished exactly what he set out to do. And the thing I would point to as the primary reason is not his marketing knowledge specifically. It is that he followed a system that works without needing to be convinced that it works every single step. He trusted the process, he executed, he got results, and then he used those results to make the adjustment. To me, that's the corporate discipline applied to a service business. If you asked him right now, that's exactly what he told me multiple times. It's like he didn't worry about trying to figure it out. He just followed the process, and now he's in a great spot with the company. Now, the last thing I want to say is about how you should be thinking about what you're building, because I think the framing matters a lot for how you approach the early days. Most people will start a cleaning business thinking of themselves as the cleaning business owner. Their identity is tied to the service. They're thinking about what cleaning products to use, what the best cleaning technique is for bathrooms, what the uniforms need to be. None of that is the business. That is the service, okay? To me, the business is operations behind the service. It's understanding hiring funnels. It's understanding marketing campaigns. It's understanding cleaner communication processes, client communication processes, pricing structure, financial tracking, delegation, automations. This is what you're building, and that is what generates the revenue. Okay. I view myself as an operator. I have been an operator since I worked at an 8-figure cleaning startup, managing systems then, right? That allowed the company to scale from 1 market to 25. I brought that operator lens to my own business, and I bring that to everything that I teach. The people who pick this up the fastest, again, are the people who already think like operators, who already understand that a business is a system of inputs and outputs, and your job is just to manage the system, okay? Right? Not doing every function inside it. So if you spend any amount of time in a corporate environment, you already know how to think this way, right? You've already been technically inside a system, okay? You've probably even been responsible for managing parts of one. So that context is more valuable in building this business than cleaning knowledge you could possibly have. So if you have a corporate background and you've been on the fence about whether this business is right for you or your situation, I want to be as direct as I can. You are the exact profile of person that succeeds in this type of model, not because I'm trying to tell you to do something, but because the data from my own personal experience and program is clear. The clients who execute the fastest and scale the furthest are almost always the ones who came in with some sort of professional corporate background existing, management skills, and the discipline to follow a system without needing to reinvent it first, right? The two objections that keep most professionals out are they don't have enough time or they don't have relevant experience, right? Because that's what you've been trained. But those are both real and manageable. The time commitment during the build phase is 15, 20 hours a week. The experience you need is the experience you already have in your career. You're not missing anything. To me, you're actually ahead. Now, if you want to see my full system, the complete step-by-step process from market selection to your first $10,000 a month, I put together a free course that covers everything, and I will link it below. So if you watched that video already and you have specific questions, drop them in the comments. I will answer them. I will read all of them, and I will use the best ones for future videos as well. I will see you on the next one.